Everyone's topic is cybersecurity right now. Everyone's talking cybersecurity. You wake up this morning and T-Mobile got hacked, was on the front page. Uh, T-Mobile confirmed this week that they was hit by a sophisticated cyber attack that went in and got the names, dates of birth, social security numbers, and driver's license information of over 40 million users. And we talked about this in the past. It's like, what happens when there's a cybersecurity attack is the brand. And I don't want to discourage us talk negatively, but if you talk in the United States market, T-Mobile and Sprint are the lowest brands within the cellular industry. And to be taking punches like this is extremely devastating. And it's going to cripple their customers. Their customers are going to step away and say, we're not going to have faith in a brand that can't keep their customers' information safe because their software and their foundation of the software is not capable of doing so. There's a company called Sonic Wall. They basically went out and they keep track of ransomware attempts, and they published that ransomware attempt volumes reached over 300 million in the first half of 2021. That's already surpassed everything that happened in 2020. So what are we're looking at cybersecurity, talking about cybersecurity. And as we talk, people really aren't paying attention and listening. I've talked to within multiple industries, and I've talked to different aspects of it. I talked to a logistics company, and they were looking at they want to build and improve their foundation, but they're worried about the IP that their logistics software entails. But the thing is, once a hacker gets in there and messes with the code, their logistics are going to go out the wall, and then the brand's going to go away. You've got to put and solidify your foundation of your software. And I've said this over and over and over. We have to go in and look at the legacy code, the reuse code, figure out what the status of it has been tested. What type of testing has been done? What type of architecture was it on when it was tested, and etc. I've talked to manufacturing people, and the manufacturing IT departments. They talk like their software and their software process are very elementary. They're not that sophisticated. They're not that hard. We don't need security based on or to protect this limitation of what we have. And it's I'm like, okay, that's an interesting mentality because hackers look at the lowest hanging fruit. If it's a simple software, we're going to go in and hack it. And we're going to go in and see how we can control it. I brought this up to the person and I go, okay. And they're like, well, there's nothing, it's something we're not going to address right now. We don't have budget. There's no budget to address things that aren't issues currently. So just 2 days later, the Mitsubishi PLC comes out and says that their PLCs can be tampered with because hackers can go in there and exploit the chain, permitting an attacker to authenticate themselves. That in layman's terms is, Carl, I can go in there and be you in the PLC. I can shut down the manufacturing floors. I can change what the PLC is supposed to be doing within the manufacturing process, or I can put an inherent bug at an end-of-line tester that can be recalled at a later point within the product. It's not that difficult. Mitsubishi is going to take a hit on this. Their brand of PLCs is extremely high. They are really renowned and reputable. But already the manufacturing processes, people I'm talking to are like, okay, we need to go back and replace this because there's not a Band-Aid to fix it right now. That's an issue. And these things can be taken care of. If you look at your software development and your software processes, you're using product that's been carried over for multiple years. And now we're getting to a technology state that cybersecurity is an issue. You're taking a foundation that was good in 1995 and trying to pigeonhole it in 2021. It's susceptible. It's going to be an issue. Foundation, foundation. It, even in the US, I'll switch the topic a little bit. We have politicians stating timelines for percentages of vehicles just to go forth and get the media and the mob excited. Sure, 2030, we're going to have 50% of the vehicles on the road that have electrification and so forth. This is propaganda, and this is propaganda of product technology. When the truth is, 1 in 5 electric vehicle owners in California have switched back to gas because of inconvenience and for other reasons. We know from the news of this year, it's been a record-setting summer for heat on the West Coast, which equals excessive air conditioning usage, which increases the state's energy usage. Now there's not even enough power to run our everyday life home or lifeline, and they're having brownouts. How are we going to plug in our vehicles? Infrastructure, foundation, it's not done. We always roll out new technology and inadequate infrastructure and foundation. We look at our launches. Look at cellular and TV products, just as prime examples. Consumer goods, easy. We have 5G product before we have 5G service. We have 4K TV when cable companies can't support the device or existing service. It's interesting. Foundation, infrastructure. When VCubed is using the cover tool, and when we'll go in and use the cover tool with our existing customers, we look to help solidify foundations and infrastructures of your software. The cover tool actually goes in and identifies upfront the weak spots in your code, and it will help you address those weak spots and possible weak spots by applying the other VCube tools, static and controller testing. Build your foundation, build your infrastructure, and then build your product on top of it. This builds the foundation to build a solid code for new tech products.